Mr. President, always nice to see you, sir.
Thank you, Greta.
Well, this is a big event, the U.S.-Afghan Women's Conference, isn't it, sir?
It is. It's big because it'll have an impact over the years. In other words, the idea of liberating women, empowering women, encouraging women, educating women in Afghanistan is all part of laying foundations for lasting peace. And my concern, of course, is that the United States gets weary of being in Afghanistan and says, it's not worth it, let's leave. And Laura and I believe that if that were to happen, women would suffer again. And we don't believe that's in the interests of the United States or the world to create safe haven for terrorists and stand by and watch women's rights be abused.
Well, it's so interesting because I think we oftentimes forget how different it is for women in this country. There are a lot of things to improve, but how vastly different for women in that country.
Well, we've seen what it's like under the Taliban. In other words, even though it was a decade ago, surely we can remember the fact that, for example, young girls couldn't go to school or women were jailed in their own homes. And if they expressed themselves publicly in a way that irritated the Taliban, they were brutalized. And that's not in our interest to see that kind of behavior. And, we liberated Afghanistan from the Taliban because of providing a safe haven for al-Qaeda. But I believed then and believe now we have an obligation to help this young democracy in Afghanistan survive and thrive. And one of the best and most effective ways to do so is to empower women.
I'm sort of curious, though, in terms of, I imagine living under the Taliban, that many people sort of developed ideas about women. And it's, even though the Taliban is gone, it's sort of hard to escape the thought that, well, women should stay home, women shouldn't get school. I mean, the cultural ingrained aspects of it have to be developed as well.
Well, that's true. I mean, in other words, there is still an inherent prejudice against women in parts of Afghanistan. In the big cities, I'm told, that women are, thriving and education system is working and there's great progress. In the rural areas of Afghanistan in particular, women are still subjected to kind of barbaric rule. And so the objective is not to look and say how terrible it is. The objective is to think how good it can be. And so we're part of our objective here at the Bush Center is to empower women around the world. With a special focus in places like the Middle East and Afghanistan. Part of our objective is to remind people that isolationism will end up subjecting certain people to horrors that I don't see how our country can live with that kind of decision.
It's fun for me to see here when the Bush administration ended and everyone scattered. And now I see that many of the people, Karen Hughes or Anita McBride, they've all sort of, they still maintain their interest that they, in the Afghanistan issue and in the women there. They come back for this.
Well, they do. A lot of us, went through 9/11 and the aftermath of 9/11, and many of the women in my administration felt a call to help the women of Afghanistan. So for them to come back is really an extension of what has been a decade-long passion.
And even using their new jobs as to sort of partner up with these women.
Absolutely. Part of the objective is to encourage American women to mentor and to help Afghan women. And this is not our first Afghan Women's Conference. Last year here at the Bush Center we sponsored a conference on education. This one happens to be with a focus on entrepreneurship and business.
Mrs. Bush lends her star power as well to the Afghan women, but I think that even if she hadn't been the First Lady, she's been helping women for a long time. I mean, I always say she was with the Komen Foundation with the breast cancer. She was addressing envelopes long before she was the First Lady. I mean, this is something she is immensely devoted to.
Well, that's true, and it all started with her being an educator. And, teaching young girls was a passion for her. And, of course, she became a mother and taught young girls as a mother. And so the extension of, her early childhood and her early career to being First Lady and now post-First Ladyship has been a natural extension for her, particularly when it comes to focusing on women's rights.
Your family, how are your parents?
They're doing fine, yeah. Well, they're turning 86 and 85 this year, and our family was together there in Washington a week ago last Monday and honoring Dad through 1,000 Points of Light celebration. I'm going to see them a week from tomorrow. I'm trying to spend as much time with them as I can. Do you know that I am you know, I think the only president, maybe one of two presidents, whose both parents are alive after the presidency. And so I view this as a huge blessing, and it's a blessing I intend to take advantage of.
I don't know if you'll still be alive after announcing your mother's age, though. After that.
Well, you know, I'm not sure I'll be alive after announcing her age.
Announcing her age, anyway. How's the library construction up and running?
Yeah, it is. We're going to be open. You'll be hopefully sitting here talking to me in a new building in less than 2 years, and we're very excited about the progress we're making. You know, the building is one thing, and the programs are another, and the programs are ongoing. And today is such a day where we've got people from from Afghanistan. What's going to be interesting, and I know you'll find this interesting, is that President Karzai has agreed to come and talk to us via video, and I think it shows, one, his desire to continue to work with the United States. 2, his desire to thank the people of the United States, and 3, reflection of our friendship, and I'm very grateful for him.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and we hope to be back before 2 years to see more of your programs here.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thanks, Greta.